American Contractors Equipment can dig a foundation for your home, and Kensington Financial can build a sound financial foundation for your family. Stay tuned for Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents.
Welcome to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. I'm your co-host, Ralph Phillips, and today we're covering a very important subject for many of our viewers, long-term care insurance, its benefits, costs, and tax implications. I'm joined, as always, by co-host Amy Tattern. Amy, what are some of the issues that most concern our viewers about long-term care, and what was our motivation in producing today's show?
Hey, Ralph.
Hi.
As part of a qualified financial plan, we believe that anyone over the age of 40 should consider the protection of long-term care insurance because this kind of shield is not just for anyone that's retired. In fact, most studies show that people don't even begin to consider long-term care insurance until it's too late because they believe that the premiums are too expensive or that their health issues are so much of a concern that they might be considered uninsurable. So to help us address these issues today, we'll be joined by Stephanie Giletto. She's from the Nationwide Insurance Company, and she's a long-term care expert. But before we do that, before we hop on this Financial Express, we need to take a break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A quality long-term relationship starts with a casual conversation. As your financial advisor, I would like to discuss what really matters to you. Long-term goals should certainly be a topic of conversation, but a better way of building a relationship initially is to discuss what's happening right now. The truth is that many people don't know what their goals are. They're too busy with the here and now to be concerned with the future. Life is going to change any plans, hopes, or goals that you might have set. At Kensington Financial, we focus on everyday life realities and communicate regularly to monitor the changes in life that you're facing and are most concerned about. Once these are taken care of, then long-term goals can be addressed as well. We hope you'll call us at Kensington Financial today.
Don't wait until it's too late. Burglar, fire, hold-up, and medical alarms for your home, commercial, or industrial needs. Signalgraph Security is a local company that can provide you with the security and service you want. Signalgraph Security will custom design a system for your home or business at a reasonable price and provide you with prompt service when you need it most. At Signalgraph Security, you talk to the same people every time. So for all your security needs, and to save at least 10%, call Signalgraph Security, where your security is our concern.
For all of your estate planning or estate settlement needs, you can depend on attorney Charles E. Weston to develop a plan that fits your specific need. With over 30 years of experience, your needs are in good hands. Call for a free consultation on any estate subject today.
Sponsored in part by Emeritus Variable Life Insurance Company, providing variable life and variable annuities since 1983. Emeritus Variable Life is a unified company.
Welcome back to Dollars and Cents. Long-term care is an issue that can affect anyone of any age. While thought of as a shield for only the elderly, long-term care insurance is actually protection that may meet the needs of individuals and their families at any stage of life. That said, a national study projects that 43% of those who turned age 65 in 1990 will enter a nursing home at some time during their life, and few will have the protection they need.
Ralph, joining us today is Stephanie Giletto. She is from Nationwide Financial. She's a long-term care expert.
Beautiful.
Stephanie, thank you for joining us and helping us to illustrate the importance of long-term care in the financial planning process.
Thank you for having me this afternoon.
I'd like to start off with a very basic question, Stephanie, that we are asked all of the time. What is long-term care insurance?
Long-term care insurance is not necessarily just for a long-term care facility any longer. In our eyes, long-term care insurance is for a long-term care need, and that can be in the home as well. So a lot of times clients are not able to do activities of daily living. And those activities, basic functions of daily living, those activities are typically dressing ourselves and being able to feed ourselves and walking and continence and being able to transfer in and out of chairs and dressing ourselves. A lot of times, if we cannot do several of those daily activities, long-term care insurance can help provide reinsurance and can come in and help provide or offset some of the cost associated with keeping up those daily expenses.
So what is covered under the long-term care insurance?
Typically with long-term care insurance, you'll see some of your basic activities associated covered, like having someone come in from a home health care facility and help provide you with the opportunity to bathe someone or help provide somebody with the opportunity to dress them on a daily basis. Most times we see individuals prefer to stay in their homes, and that's pretty typical. Most of us would rather stay in our homes in a comfortable environment as opposed to being in a long-term care facility having some sort of assisted or skilled care coming in and being provided for us.
Are there things that aren't covered that maybe people think are covered?
There are a lot of times things that are considered eligible expenses. And depending on the insurance company that issues the policy, they're going to have a list of eligible expenses. What typically is not covered is exactly that, somebody going out and shopping for you or preparing meals for you. But if you have somebody who is from an accredited facility who is coming in to provide some home health care, to do some watching of an individual or to do some sort of assisted or skilled care, that would be typically covered.
Stephanie, before we continue on, folks, we need to take a real quick break and recognize some of our sponsors, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Tax season is here, and with Burton Accounting Services, you can file your taxes and get a quick refund through a refund anticipation loan in 1 to 2 days upon bank approval, or get a rapid transfer in 14 days upon tax return acceptance. Tracy Burton at Burton Accounting Services in Tarentum can file your taxes and get your refund quick. Call Burton Accounting Services, 724-224-4789.
During Ladle's Kitchen, I am here to show you how to make marvelous soups for your family, great entrees, desserts, and even some appetizers. But my other love is decorating. As you can see, many of these items were purchased at Ladle's Country Cupboard, just a few steps away. Visit Ladle's Country Cupboard to pick up an item for your home or for your kitchen. Thank you.
Before we took a break, we were talking about some of the things that long-term care policies might not cover. But before we even go that far, there are different types of long-term care policies themselves. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. The most frequently seen types of policies you'll see out there are reimbursement programs, and there are some programs called indemnity programs. And I know they sound like insurance terms, but let me give you a little bit of the information on both of those. Reimbursement programs are programs that typically you would have to pay all of your expenses up front and then gather your receipts on a monthly basis and submit them to the insurance company. So you would be paying your expenses up front, outlaying the cost for the care, and then on a monthly basis you'd submit your receipts to an insurance company and they would turn around and reimburse them. And the other type of program available is an indemnity product, where typically that is not asked for. Typically with an indemnity program on a monthly basis, a check would be sent to you on a monthly basis directly from the insurance company to cover the cost of care for your long-term care or home health care need.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the actual costs of a long-term care insurance policy. What are some of the major factors that go into adjusting that cost? Is there a big difference based on age, based on health? What are some of the underwriting guidelines that we as consumers need to be concerned with?
Sure. I mean, you have to take a look at the fact that as a younger individual, our life expectancy tends to be longer. So the cost for the long-term care insurance would be much lower. As you get into your middle 50s, into your 60s, where a lot of us are starting to see the need for long-term care, then you're going to start to see the costs go up. And as you get into your 70s and perhaps your 80s, then you're going to see it dramatically increase. So the opportunity when we're younger and healthier makes some sense. What goes into the price of a long-term care? Well, you're looking at your age, whether you're a male or a female, and your health. Most companies will look at prior family history as well as your current health conditions. Those individuals who exercise more frequently are going to have lower premiums. Those individuals who take care of themselves will have lower costs associated with it.
What are some of the key benefits that we should look for, that we should expect to see in any long-term care policy?
Some of the benefits that you'll look for are maybe cost of insurance adjustments, or a cost of living adjustment, where you might have an inflation rider associated with the program, so that as care costs go up, and they will go up. Right now you're looking at, and you had mentioned earlier, 43% of us over the age of 65 right now have some sort of long-term care or home health care need. 1 out of 2 of us over the age of 65, not that long in the future, will have a long-term care or home health care need. And the opportunity for us to be talking about this is going to even expand further as the baby boomers, and the first baby boomer just turned age 60 in January of this year in Wayne, Pennsylvania. The opportunity for us to be looking at this more is going to increase more as our population gets older. The experience level with the insurance companies will increase as well, because more and more of us we are living longer and healthier lives, but more and more of us will start to have long-term care issues. Right now, 1 out of 2 over the age of 85 has Alzheimer's. So it becomes a really key, critical component of a complete financial plan to take a look at long-term care insurance as part of the puzzle.
Stephanie, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what the difference is between an assisted living facility and a nursing home, and how Medicare plays into this whole scenario. But until then, we're going to take a very quick break, and we hope that you'll hang on with us, because we'll be right back.
There is a bank that makes a great addition to any small business, or a great beginning for any entrepreneur, a bank that's focused on building a personal relationship with you. Enterprise Bank employs highly professional relationship managers with a vested interest in helping your business grow. They themselves are small business entrepreneurs who can empathize with the challenges of growing a small business. For your business needs, count on Enterprise Bank, the bank that is built for your business. Sponsored in part by Emeritus Variable Life Insurance Company, providing variable life and variable annuities since 1983. Emeritus Variable Life is a unified company.
Hi, I'm Ross Walker of the Ross Walker Funeral Home in New Kensington.
And I'm Lisa Walker. My brother and I are proud to carry on the tradition of caring for families as our father did before us.
Our reputation of dealing fairly and providing funerals for all faiths and nationalities dates back generations.
We believe our service is second to none. Call us at need or pre-need.
Visit our modern facilities. There's plenty of parking, and we're conveniently located.
Welcome back to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. We're talking with long-term care expert Stephanie Giletto from Nationwide Financial. Stephanie, now that we know that Medicare is not going to pay for long-term care insurance, what are our options in paying for this?
Well, Medicare will pay for a little bit of the care. Typically, they'll pay for 100% up to the first 20 days of care in a facility. And then they'll pay for anything over $114 for the next 80 days in a facility. But if you have a long-term care need, you really need to do planning beyond 3 months. So what are the types of programs available to you? You have standalone long-term care products where you can actually go in and buy a pool of money, a pot of money, that will spend down for you to help assist you with your care costs, whether that's in-home or in an assisted living or a long-term care facility.
And that's based on a set amount of money per day, per month, per year?
That's typically set on a set amount of money per day that you and your financial advisor will sit down and go through. So some of you might have some money set aside in other investments that you may want to use for long-term care, and sometimes you might have some dollars that you want to set aside for your family as a legacy. So the amount that you're going to want on a daily basis is going to be something that your financial advisor and you are going to sit down and go through.
What's the average, and I don't want to get too specific here, but what should we consider to be a normal average cost for per day for stay in a long-term care facility like a nursing home?
Well, let me give you the average cost on an annual basis. Okay. Throughout the country, the average annual cost is about $55,000 a year for long-term care. Now, we unfortunately happen to live in the Northeast, and that increases quite dramatically. The average cost in the Northeast is closer to $80,000 on an annual basis, yes, for long-term care. So that can significantly deplete a legacy that you're leaving to your children. Mm-hmm. So long-term care insurance, for pennies on the dollar, can provide you the opportunity to make sure that the care is paid for by the long-term care insurance company, as well as making sure that there is a legacy left to the children. There's also another program available to you, not just standalone long-term care products, but there are complementary long-term care products that have a life insurance death benefit involved with them. They are brand new to the marketplace within the last few years. What they do is give you the opportunity, again, to have a pool of money that you can spend down for long-term care. If you never use it for a long-term care, a home health care, assisted living, adult daycare, or a cognitive impairment type of scenario, you would pass that pot of money, that pool of money, along to your beneficiaries. So there are different types of strategies available. What makes best sense is, again, going to be determined when you sit down and talk with your clients.
Right. How can I decide if I should even or how can our clients decide, how can people in our audience decide if they should even purchase long-term care coverage? What are some of the criteria that they should expect to look at when they sit down with someone like me, like a financial advisor?
Well, for those individuals who worked so hard for their money over the last 30, 40, 50 years, and they want to be able to provide a legacy for their children or their grandchildren or a charity, for those individuals who are really worried about trying to make sure that there is something left for their heirs, long-term care insurance may make some sense. For the individuals with very little money, Medicaid will probably come in and assist with the cost of care. And for the very, very wealthy, they're probably going to self-insure. But for the average, everyday individual who is going to want to have the best care they possibly can at the most reasonable costs, long-term care insurance makes a lot of sense.
Stephanie, I am not old. I'm not sick. I have no health issues. I do not want to pay for long-term care insurance right now. Why should my financial advisor recommend that I put that into my financial planning, and what are the solutions to this?
And we actually hear that a lot. The industry has come up with some combination programs to utilize life insurance along with long-term care benefits for those individuals that are younger who don't believe that they need it today, or for those individuals who are older and don't believe it's going to ever happen to them. And typically it does. So we now have combination products designed for, again, for individuals like yourself, where you actually get the opportunity to go in and use your life insurance benefit. The death benefit that you would have typically passed along to your heirs, you can use that while living in the event, heaven forbid, a long-term care, a home health care, an assisted living, cognitive impairment, or adult daycare situation happens. We all have homeowners insurance, and we need to have homeowners insurance before we can even purchase a home. But we hope that nothing ever happens to our homes, but we have homeowners insurance. Same thing with car insurance. You have to have car insurance, but you hope that nothing ever happens to your home or to your car. Same thing with long-term care insurance. It's a nice thing to have, but you hope it never happens to you. If we can actually combine a program for you today, have a life insurance death benefit, or that same death benefit you can use while living for long-term care, maybe that is something that makes very good sense for you. And something like that is a very inexpensive route to take. as opposed to having standalone long-term care as well as a standalone life insurance program. So for those of us who don't believe it's ever going to happen to us, this might be an opportunity where we can go in and, for a much reduced cost than 2 premiums individually, have a combination program that can help us in the event one of 2 things happens. Passing it all along to the heirs, or having a living benefit necessary for long-term care or home health care. But you're young today. Suppose you were to get into, God forbid, an accident, and maybe you just broke your knee, and you were to not be able to do 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. They refer to it as ADLs, those activities of daily living that I mentioned a little bit earlier. The walking, the dressing, the transferring, the bathing, the toileting. If you weren't able to do 2 of those, even from a simple car accident with a broken knee, you might be able to access the death benefit as a living benefit to pay for some of your care, your health care, while younger. So that might be a reason why, as a young individual, this might make sense for you.
So I'll insure my car, I'll insure my house. Why not insure my health
as well,
or my life? And then be able to pass that along later, maybe down the road.
With the combination programs, whatever you don't use for long-term care gets passed along to your heirs, your beneficiaries, in the form of a life insurance death benefit. And that benefit is income tax-free.
Phenomenal. Stephanie, on behalf of our viewers, I'd really like to thank you for joining us today and sharing your expertise and insights on long-term care.
My pleasure.
Folks, Amy and I will be right back to discuss some of the most important aspects of a long-term care insurance plan. So please hold on, because we'll be right back.
Tired of struggling with uncomfortable, frustrating hearing aids? Are you ready to experience natural sound again? Well, Vivatone is your answer, a revolutionary new hearing aid that gives you the natural sound without the whistling and echo and noise that you're used to. And unlike many other traditional hearing aids, Vivatone doesn't require the creation of ear molds. To feel the immediate difference, visit Remetta Audiology for a no-obligation trial and ask about saving 20% on Vivatone.
For all of your estate planning or estate settlement needs, you can depend on Attorney Charles E. Weston to develop a plan that fits your specific need. With over 30 years of experience, your needs are in good hands. Call for a free consultation on any estate subject today.
Attention shoppers, have you visited the Heights Plaza Shopping Center lately? Heights Plaza is a 400,000 square foot Macy's anchored center that is located in the heart of the business district in Natrona Heights, PA. Heights Plaza has been serving 4 generations of loyal shoppers for over 50 years. Heights Plaza has over 50 businesses including Macy's, Dunham's, Sears, Community Market, Big Lots, as well as many other national tenants and great restaurants. Visit our new 7,500 square foot international buffet restaurant, located just 3 minutes off Route 28 and Natrona Heights exit 15.
Welcome back. We've been talking about long-term care insurance costs and coverage. Ralph, I'm sure our viewers are beginning to understand just how important long-term care can be as part of a financial plan. But could you tell me and the viewers, what can Kensington Financial do?
I think that your planner should sit down, your advisor should sit down with you and discuss some of the costs and options and long-term benefits that exist with long-term care insurance. There are so many nuances, however, that exist that I feel for something like long-term care, it is most important that you sit down with someone who has the appropriate background, as we do here at Kensington Financial.
What if I don't have long-term care insurance right now?
It's really never too early to start looking at long-term care, because, and I'm sure most of our viewers would agree with this, the younger we are, the less expensive it is. As we begin to get into our mid to late 60s and especially into our 70s, the costs become, in my mind, in this area, in this part of Pennsylvania, the costs become a little bit prohibitive. So it becomes very, very difficult to pay to cover the overall costs of a solid long-term care policy.
So then it's too late at that point, or when is it too late to get it?
When would I say it's too late? Well, after you're looking into your late 70s, folks, into your early 80s, I think it's probably about too late then to look for some sort of qualified, solid long-term care coverage, because you probably start to look at costs, Amy, that are going to possibly exceed $3,000 or $4,000 a month. And that's too much money for any of us to spend for something like that.
Well, what if I never use the insurance?
There are riders that we can include with a long-term care policy that will actually return the premium at certain times in the life of the policy, return all of the premiums paid if the policy is never used. That is an option that many people consider. It's not always something that I recommend because, as with any other option in an insurance policy, there's a cost associated with it. So again, that's something that we have to consider.
Am I going to have to spend down my estate to try to pay for the cost of staying in a nursing home?
Amy, that's a great question, and it's probably the single most important reason why many of us would even consider getting a long-term care policy. Because in fact, if we do have to go into a nursing home or an assisted living facility, Medicare won't kick in and start to help us cover the costs of that facility until we've essentially spent down our entire estate. So if the plan here is to leave an estate for family members, children, whatever, Medicare is essentially going to force us to spend all of the money, all of the assets that we were going to leave to our family, and it can happen very, very quickly.
So then I'll run down my estate and I won't have anything left to give to my family after I'm gone.
Unfortunately, yes, that's exactly the truth, and that's why, again, long-term care insurance can be so important and should be such an important consideration as part of an overall financial plan, as part of an overall estate plan. That's why we always urge our clients to consider it when we begin the estate planning process, when we begin the financial planning process, no matter what their age is. It's always something that we want to consider. It is not, however, something that we always end up putting in place as part of their financial plan.
That's some great information, but we're going to take a quick break and recognize some of our wonderful sponsors.
Somewhere along the road, you went from a full house to an empty nest. Somewhere along the road, you went from breadwinner to babysitter, and you love it. And somewhere you found that making more money was less important than making the most of your money. At Kensington Financial Services, we understand how the road of life changes, and we offer a full range of financial planning and investment services to move you in the right direction. Kensington Financial, your planning partner.
Unfortunately, that's about all the time we have for this evening. We do hope that you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to visiting with you next week. Amy, as always, it's a great pleasure to be with you.
You too, Ralph. If you have any questions about today's show on long-term care or suggestions for questions for the future shows, Ralph and I hope you'll send us an email to questions@kensingtonfinancial.com or give us a call at 724-334-1950. And special thanks to our guest this evening, Stephanie Giletto, long-term care specialist with Nationwide. Thanks for watching Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents.
Bye-bye, everyone. Peace. I thought it was very nice.
That was awesome.
We close.
You get the giggles?
Oh, yeah.
You guys get the giggles.
Oh, sure.
That's so not right.
You can't help it.
These two are going to sit here and use up all the good stuff, and we're not going to be doing it.
No. Premium cost. Sorry.
It's okay.
Can help. See, now that I know that I can actually stop.
Where you want this part?
Okay.
Very nice. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. We're done.